What if the things that you fear are the keys to unlocking your best life, to bringing out your biggest transformations and the things that are going to fulfill you the most? I used to avoid fear and I used to avoid anything that I was scared of. But now I use fear as a compass to know that this is something that I need to do in order to up-level my life. In this video, I'm going to share with you how I stop letting fear completely control my life and really step into courage instead. And I'm also going to be answering some of the most asked questions about fear, like how do I know the difference between my intuition and my fear, and how do I stop letting fear from controlling my life. So make sure you watch till the end to hear my answers to those questions. But without further ado, let's just jump straight into this video. Thank you so much for your comments and for your likes. They really do help the channel. And if you enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe. Hello, beautiful humans. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's topic is actually really exciting. We're going to be talking about fear and the lessons that I've learned along my journey of choosing courage instead of fear. One of the first things that I think about when I think about things that I was really scared to do is my YouTube channel. And for a while, to be honest, I was on YouTube but wasn't really consistent with it. And there was a few things that were holding me back from being consistent. And it wasn't so much that I was scared to put myself out there, because I'd already been putting myself out there for a while and overcome that fear of worrying about what people thought to just post videos. So it was more the fear that was holding me back from being really consistent with my YouTube channel. And one of those fears was, what if nothing comes of this? What if it's just a waste of time? And I think this is really common. And it's something that I've experienced a lot on my journey of becoming self-employed and knowing where to put my energy. The dog is at the door. He always does this when I'm filming. Freddie, sorry to say always to you, but I can't keep doing it. He's probably going to come back at some point. But I always like to have what was I even talking about? So yeah, I was saying that it was really common to have the fear of feeling like you're going to be wasting time, like worrying that you're going to put all this effort into the project that you're doing or whatever it is that you are wanting to do. And then the fear that what if all this effort I put into this just doesn't pan out and nothing really comes of it. That was a really big fear that was holding me back, and it was this thing that I was noticing that would literally stop me from creating and spending time creating, and it would mean that I would end up procrastinating. And when I looked deeper into why I was procrastinating, I realized that there was these fears underlying. And when I actually decided that I was going to start becoming consistent with my YouTube channel, and I actually did that, I put in the action to do that, so many good things came out of this. So many good things that I wasn't expecting. And some of those were, I learnt so much about myself just by making videos every week. At one point I was making videos like every day, but I've kind of stopped doing that and tried to focus on more quality versus quantity. And I've just learned so much about myself in the process, what kind of things I like to create, what kind of things I don't like to create, the way that I like to create, topics that I'm really interested in. The more deep I go into creating these videos, the more it unfolds what path I'm going down in terms of like my passions. And I just feel a lot more certain that no matter how much time I spend on this, there's always going to be something good that comes out of it. Another thing that has come out of this is just meeting loads of cool people, whether that is from courses that I'm doing that are helping me with my YouTube channel. I meet people on those courses, or whether that is just from meeting people out. And where I've been doing my YouTube channel now consistently for over a year, I have really felt myself come into my real authentic self, because I'm putting myself out there so much, speaking about the things that I love to speak about. I find myself becoming more authentic within my own being, and that in turn has allowed me to attract people into my life that are also living in this way, in terms of, you know, sometimes a lot of the time I've been meeting a lot of spiritual people that are also interested in the same kind of things that I'm interested in. And this was not the case before last year. I didn't really have any friends that were interested in that kind of stuff. And since I've really consistently dedicated myself to this path, I've opened myself up to so many more opportunities. And I think also the universe does seem to reward you when you put yourself out there and do the things that you're scared to do, because it's opened up so many opportunities for me in terms of meeting new people, vibing with people online, and then meeting them in real life. So many other things have also come of this. Like, another fear that I have had for a while, a really big fear that I conquered this year, was speaking in public. And I actually hosted a couple of my own events now, which I'm so proud of myself for, because guys, I was putting this off for so long because I was so scared to do it. The thought of it, I remember when the first time I had this thought years ago about becoming a meditation teacher, and instantly my little ego thought, my little fear-based thoughts came through and was like, oh no, we could never do that because that involves public speaking. And over the years, I've gotten used to and kind of allowed myself to feel in deeper to the fact that I actually do really want to do that. And just hosting events and teaching people meditation and coaching them about spiritual stuff is something that I'm so passionate about. So the whole fear of public speaking has kind of been something that I know I've had to conquer. And so when I did that and I did host my own ceremonies, the high that I get after doing these things is so, like, it's such a fulfilling feeling when you do something that you are so scared of, that you've been putting off for a while, because it's like you unlock these new versions of yourself. And I always think of it like that. The same thing happened when I did a cold plunge. Before I did a cold plunge, I was really scared to do it. And I kind of had identified myself with these thoughts of like, I don't like the cold, so I'll probably never do that. Like, I would see other people do it and be like, yeah, that's not me. Like, it's not going to be me. And I noticed that that was coming from a place of fear. So I decided, no, I'm going to conquer this fear. And so I started going to cold plunges. And the first time I did that cold plunge, the same thing happened. I felt like a new version of me had been unlocked. Like, imagine you're in a game. Imagine like life is a game and we're here to like unlock different levels of ourselves. Every time I do something that I'm scared to do, I unlock like the next level of me. And it's such a good feeling. Like, when I did that cold plunge, I realized, wow, I'm actually so much stronger than I thought I was. Like, I can handle things that are uncomfortable, and I didn't think that I was going to be able to do that, but because I put my mind to it and I really told myself that no, this is what I'm going to do, and I visualized before I did it. Like, I visualized my friend saying to me, Amy, you did really well. And what do you know? As soon as I came out of that cold plunge, she was like, Amy, you did really well. And I was like, I visualized you saying that. And yeah, it just manifested. So it's such a good feeling, just like doing these things. Another thing that I've learned from doing these scary things is that we often anticipate things happening. Like, we'll put things off because we're scared that, oh, people are going to think I'm weird, or I'm going to waste time, or what if people hate on me for doing these things? Like, whatever the fear is, usually never actually ends up happening. What ends up happening is loads of stuff that you didn't even think was going to happen. And I think from doing that, I've learned that it's such an enjoyable experience just doing these things. And so I wanted to just answer like some of the most asked questions about fear and what I've learned in response. So one of the most asked questions about fear is, how can I stop my fears from controlling my life? First of all, becoming aware of the fear and what the fear actually is. And I do this by going inwards and really asking myself questions. For example, if I find myself procrastinating and I ask myself, why am I procrastinating? And the reason is fear-based, like, oh, I'm procrastinating because I'm scared that I'm just scared. Like, I'm just scared for some reason. I will keep asking myself more and more questions, going in deeper, and really seeing if those thoughts or those fears are things that I want to align with, or is it something that I want to kind of be courageous and move through anyway. I think that if you are feeling fear and you are noticing fear, I tell myself this is actually a good thing, because it means that I am on the right path. If I'm just stagnant and comfortable all the time and not really doing anything that scares me. I feel like I'm kind of in too much of a comfortable place, and I want to keep challenging myself so that I am growing and evolving as a person. And so sometimes fear can be actually a good thing if you notice it, and you notice that maybe that fear is not something that you want to hold you back, and it's something that you know you can kind of follow that feeling and do the things that scare you the most. Doing the harder things are going to be really lifting my mood and helping me to feel better, and also making me inspired and excited to do these things again, and wondering how I can do it better next time. Another question that people often ask about fear. So how do we tell the difference between intuition and fear? There is a spiritual teacher named Christina Lopes. She basically says in one of her videos that intuition is not an emotional thing. It's more of a neutral thing, whereas our fears tend to be more emotional. The thoughts that come from our ego tend to be more emotional. So I'll give you an example. I was in a relationship before, and I had an intuition that this person wasn't right for me, but the fear that I was kind of scared to break up with this person and didn't really want to, for reasons that were based in fear, they were causing a lot of anxiety. And when I really went in and delved a little bit deeper to figure out what was the right thing to do, I realized that all of the anxiety was coming from the resistance to the intuitive message. So to figure out the difference between intuition and fear, you want to get yourself into a clear space by doing meditation, breath work, yoga, maybe exercise. You can do those heart coherence meditations that are basically where you feel into your heart space. These are really good ways of getting yourself into a space. Especially breath work, by the way, is one of the most powerful practices I find for aligning myself with my higher self. And also, if you're doing this on a regular basis, then you're going to be able to get into this state a lot easier without even doing the breath work. Like if you practice connecting with your higher self all the time, then you'll be able to access that part of yourself a lot easier. So when you're in that clear space, and you'll be able to feel the intuition, because another thing that a lot of spiritual teachers say is that the intuition is the first thing that comes through. So if you ask yourself a question and get a response, it's usually the first answer that you get. So it might not even be words. It could be that you just have a knowing, just a know, like you ask yourself a question and that knowing is just already answered. You can also do this by writing down in a journal, like asking yourself questions and then connecting with your higher self, literally saying to yourself, I invite my higher self in now, and then asking your higher self questions and really just writing out the answers really quickly. But to know the difference between intuition and fear, I really think it's a matter of feeling into what the emotions are. If there's a lot of emotion connected to how you're feeling and you feel really anxious when you're having these fears, it might be more fear-based. Whereas if you feel really clear and you have this inner knowing, then it's more likely to be intuition. But with that being said, it's important to listen to everything that comes through so that you can really delve deeper and kind of sift through how you're feeling in that moment, what messages that you're getting through. Everything that comes up is important to listen to, because when we don't listen to it, that's when it starts to run the show from the subconscious. And when we really ignore the stuff that comes up for us, we resist it, it kind of plays out on a subconscious level. So what we want to be doing is bringing these fears to the conscious by tuning in and listening to ourselves. I think everyone has those things that they know that they want to do, that they're putting off because they're scared. Just ask yourself, what is the one thing that I really want to do? The one thing that my higher self, my soul, is drawn to doing, is being called forwards to do. What is that one thing that I am being called to do? And see if anything comes up, and then see if you have any feelings of fear come through at the exact same time. You should have like a feeling and an intuition of what it is that you're scared of and what it is that you actually want to do. And just a little tip, when I notice that there's something I want to do, for example, the hosting events, hosting ceremonies, I knew that this was something that I really wanted to do, but every time I thought about it, I had this horrible feeling of anxiety and fear come up. So what I'll do is during my meditations and during my morning practice where I do my prayers, I start to call in that thing. So I will start to prepare my subconscious for the fact that we're going to be doing this. And I'm not necessarily doing it straight away, but I'm just preparing myself. So I'll say to the universe or God, I'll say thank you for guiding me towards my first event. Thank you for guiding me. And so it's in my subconscious, it's in my field. So every day that I'm moving forwards, I'm kind of thinking about it in the subconscious. And then when it comes to manifesting it, I'm a little bit more ready and less scared. That fear has started to die down a little bit. I've kind of gotten used to the fact that, okay, this is something that I'm going to be doing, and now I'm ready to just prepare for it. And then after that happens, it's just putting one foot in front of the other. There's all these steps before doing the actual main event that we're maybe scared of, that we put ourselves off from doing. Like, say you wanted to go bungee jumping and you were scared to go bungee jumping, but it's something that you really wanted to do. If you just looked online first, just kind of flirting with the idea, looking online, seeing if there's any companies, reading the reviews, that might put you to rest a little bit. And then doing the next step, okay, I'm going to book it, and then I'm just going to go to the place, and then before you know it, you're there, you're getting strapped in, and you're taking that leap. So taking one step at a time and being really present with every moment, so that we're not perpetuating this fear and allowing it to really hold us back. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I just want to say thank you for your likes, thank you for your comments, and thank you for subscribing to the channel. I'll see you in the next video. Peace, namaste, have a good day.